Just a white guy here with a business here, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the thing that bugs me a lot is that lately there's been a lot of like white antagonism. Like people say that you can't be racist towards a white person, which I think is totally like dumb. Like I'm pretty sure you believe that too, right?
That doesn't make sense.
That makes no sense to me. Like you could be racist to anybody, like regardless of their race. So you
Sure.
could be racist towards a white person because I mean, what is racism? Racism is like when you discriminate someone based on the color of their skin or their group, right?
Yeah, 2 points. One, there's a lot of racism towards whites in other countries like Egypt and lots of spots in Africa where there's little pockets of like Christianity in an otherwise very like black or Middle Eastern environment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racism towards whites in those environments. Two, it's kind of weird saying this as a white person, but I get the frustration towards whites in this country. I get it.
Yeah.
White people have done some fucked up shit. And I'm not one of those white people, and I'm probably one of the rare white people that's not like that,
Yeah.
But you're gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater if you take it out on all white people.
Yeah.
You need to look at people individually.
Exactly.
There's good people and there's messed up people. That's it.
Yeah. I made that point before in a previous podcast that it's more about the individual and it has less to do with the race or like the group. It's more about like how an individual is,
Yeah.
So like as far as I know, you're a chill person.
Thanks.
I'm not gonna hate you because of the color of your skin. That's just wrong. I have to get to know you better.
I appreciate that.
So
Likewise.
But I don't know, for whatever reason, like lately there's been a lot of this inherited guilt put onto like white groups, even if they're not or they don't have any like ancestry that traces back to like colonialism or anything like that.
Sure.
So I mean.
Yeah, my family are Italian immigrants. My great grandparents immigrated here from Italy to be farmers. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I said that before. Like a lot of people immigrated to the Americas during the 19th century. A lot of European people, like Italians, Irish people, German people, and so all these immigrants that came in, they don't have any like ancestry with the original colonial like group that came to the United States.
For sure.
Way early in the 17th century.
Yes.
So
those people are kind of messed up people.
And so you're one of those people that are immigrants, right?
My family is, yeah.
So that's the problem. This confusion is leading to all this discrimination against people that have nothing to do with that anyway.
I think it's really tricky because nobody ever came to my shop before and asked me who I was or wanted to get to know me or wanted to know my background before these people decided to attack us and start hating us. I feel like all of this could have been avoided with a simple handshake and a conversation.
Yeah.
These people saw us, they assumed we're somebody that we're not. They started a war about it. It's like, just come and talk to me for 5 minutes. You're going to realize we're not that different.
Yeah. But this whole thing has, even students in universities, like, I have a friend of mine that goes to my university, UCR, and I was talking to this person, and he was telling me, like, because I told him about your story. And he was telling me, oh, it's good that they're protesting against him. It's good that they're vandalizing his shop. And I'm like, how? Like, why are you saying that, And he's like, oh, because he's white. Right. And it's like, that was his only rationale. And that makes no sense to me.
At the same time, like, I don't want people to be racist towards anybody. At the same time, white people need to atone for the sins that we have caused in this country. I lived in Canada for 6 years. Canada did some fucked up shit 300 years ago, too. But they have gone out of their way to make it right. They put up memorials. They've given First Nations peoples as much as they can give them, opportunity-wise, financially, land, and there's that tension isn't there like it is in our society.
Yeah.
It's time for white people to atone. It's time for white people to say sorry and mean it for real.
Yeah.
Or this is going to continue. There's not going to be rest. There's not going to be peace between this awesome melting pot of a country that we are all sharing together.
Yeah, a lot of my friends that are white, the way they are is like, since they can't really be proud of their own culture, their white culture, they're more like open with other cultures. So like a lot of my white friends have a lot of like different diverse, groups of friends.
For sure.
So it's like, this whole thing about hating on white people is just from as far as I know, the white people that I know they're very open, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then your shop's in Boyle Heights, so I mean, you're pretty much forced to be open to with other groups, right?
Absolutely. Yes, but I think we're already very open-minded people.
Yeah.
Like we're maybe like rare white people, But LA is a special place. I think people here, white people here, and everyone here,
Yeah.
we're all like living on top of a culture, on top of culture, on top of culture. We're all forced to sorry about that. We're all forced to find a way to get along.
Yeah.
Even if at first we may be like edgy about it or judging each other, you know. So LA is a special place that way. I think you go to like the middle of the country, it's very different. You know.
Pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, LA is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and to fight against one certain group here is just not beneficial because, like you said, it's a melting pot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cultures here, and not just American cultures either. There's like foreign cultures here, like
all kinds.
Russians, Ukrainians, Italians, like
Chinese,
Japanese.
Yep.
You'll find them everywhere.
All kinds, man.
Yeah.
And I think also I think, at least in the United States, people look to LA and New York for like a little bit of a role model. Like,
Yeah.
how are we all going to get along?
Exactly.
LA's going to figure it out, and then we're all going to follow suit. We have a responsibility. The rest of the country looks up to us that way.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's really neat.
Yeah, LA is known for being like liberal and very open-minded.
Yes,
and
yes.
progressive.
Yep.
Not Boyle Heights, though.
Not Boyle Heights for some reason, man.
It used to be.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. If you look at the history of Boyle Heights, like back in the early 1900s, this was a very diverse community. It was filled with Jewish people, Russians, Chinese, you name it, man. There was a lot of cultures here.
White people.
Yeah.
White people.
White people, Italians, Poles. I was walking in the cemetery on Lorena, Evergreen Cemetery.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you just list off
Oh,
every
yeah.
culture's in there. It's insane. It's the most diverse
Yeah.
cemetery I've ever been in.
There's a lot of like Chinese tombstones and
Chinese,
stuff. There's
Japanese.
still churches here, like Chinese
Yeah,
churches,
yeah,
like Buddhist temples and stuff.
Yes.
And like people don't even question that. Like they just look past it.
Yeah.
You don't see that there was actually like an example of diversity here. Like before you even
Yes. Rich diversity.
It's crazy. And now that we're living in this short period where it's been like for the most part homogenous, with just Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
And now that it's slowly starting to change, we're kind of like dumbfounded almost,
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it's just
I mean,
crazy.
you guys grew up here.
Yeah.
What is it like for you to see a change?
I mean, I recognize it for what it is, I know that my childhood and my early teens, like, that was just a speck in time, And this, like I said before, this community has always been diverse. So we were just living in a brief moment in time where it wasn't. And now it's slowly starting to go back into it again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool perspective.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. I didn't really face diversity till we went to college, That's when we really came across different peoples and different cultures. But for the situation here, it's like, what's the solution, man? Of course, deliberation and discourse will be the solution to many problems. But speaking about diversity, I don't think that'll really go through a lot of people's heads here. Like, they're not willing to accept the fact that this Mexican community that they consider their home is changing, it's developing. So what do you guys think would be the solution to inform people, or to just like start groups on Facebook, or what would you advise?
Well, I don't quite understand the question.
The solution. So when was the last time that they vandalized your store?
I think it was in first week of February.
February?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's not that long ago.
A little, like 6 weeks, yeah.
And that thing you said about when they kicked you out of the library, like, is there a lack of information here, or a lack of perspective? What do you think it is?
Man, I really don't know, man. Like I said, like,
because I don't feel that way. You don't feel that way towards him or his business or anybody else moving in, So,
but I mean, the only reason I think that way is because I went to college, and when you go to university as big as UCR, like, you're almost forced to kind of find yourself there among the diverse crowd. Before that, I didn't understand nothing about politics. I didn't understand nothing about different cultures, man. It wasn't only until I went to the university that I really understood that there's a lot of different people out here in this world,
So do you think that if you wouldn't have gone to university, you would have held the same beliefs as everyone else?
Possibly. I mean, the only people that I know that think that way are people that haven't really, like, stepped out of their community.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, dude. Like, experiencing the world changes you
It does.
in some way.
And when we stepped out of this whole little area, this little bubble, Boyle Heights, man, and we went to the university, we were like so we were so isolated, we were so alone because we couldn't find ourselves out there, you know?
Right, for sure.
For a good while, we couldn't make friends because, I mean, we only knew Hispanic people. I mean, our high school had one black person and everybody else was Hispanic.
Crazy, yeah.
Like, and you talk to anybody else from any other, like, high school outside of this community, and